spot. However, you don't want to be a team that goes 0-4, 0-5, whatever. You want to pick up some wins. Poland, they actually are in a position where they can still qualify for BlizzCon, but it's a very tall order to do so, considering their record to do so. So they have to get a 3-2 record minimum. That's what we've established so far at World Cup stages. If they're lucky, Germany, bit of a leg up from what they've played so far in the form of Italy.
Got to beat these guys, then make their way over the Netherlands and France tomorrow. Don't really favor those odds, to be honest with you, if they were in my books, but who knows? We've seen crazier things happen throughout the history of Overwatch. We're rolling out of the gate, no surprise here, no 3-3 to be seen on Sanctum, thanks to all the environmental kill potential that you can see.
Look at Germany's roster though, they've got triple DPS out the bat with an Ana Lucio combo, and Progi of course going to be on that Winston, so interesting to see what they do with a heavier damage favoured composition coming out from the Germans.
Nesh going off on the flank as well. This is something again we've seen in the EU a few times, an instant sleep down onto Nesh, means the dive follows through not long after. It's going all Germany's way.
They've absolutely demolished them, diving onto the back line, leaving Matwo out there by himself to recall. That's going to be Germany picking up the first point on a very clean team fight.
Just really the anticipation there, the readiness was from there from Germany, ready to go for that dive as soon as they saw the opportunity. Poland, a little bit slow to respond. Yes, they got the sleep onto Nesh, but realistically, when you've got 4 or 5 other targets all jumping into your backline, you're going to struggle to deal with that damage coming out of 3 DPS heroes.
Cranks and Kodak are very in sync with their ult charge relatively. They could be hitting a nanoblade combo very quickly. Matwo going to find both supports on the backline by himself on the Sombra as Shadow dives onto the point to help Poland get back control of this point. Cranks getting a kill onto Dooku. Might not be enough to stem the flow. Matwo going low with that recall. It looks like Poland's going to get a flip here relatively early on.
And this is the problem with playing a triple DPS composition, is you're relying so much on your own damage and initiations to win fights that if the enemy team engages with more than just 2 members, for example, you're stuck with realistically a Winston and maybe the 2 supports themselves trying to keep them alive. If they have enough damage to shut you down with that dive, there is no way you are going to be able to hold a position that doesn't see at least 1 support going down. In that case, it was both of them, and that was Dreamland for Poland. So Germany, if they're going to stick to this comp, they've got to take the initiative, and here it comes with the blade.
Oh, immediate sleep from Dooku. He's doing that multiple times this match, and we're just going to watch Cranks take a nap, get back up. No more blades, still has the nano boost. Danye, on the other hand, without those tools, able to get the same amount of work done as he finds 2 kills. Zeno going to take out Nesh as a self-destruct on the point, will keep Germany away. They're sent back to their spawn room.
They've got a couple of ultimates online to play with here, namely looking towards that visor coming out of Meta. On the other side, though, 4 ultimates online for Poland. They're in a great position here to chain a couple of fight wins. Dexter taking a nap and instantly woken up there. Duke on the far corner with that nano boost onto get Danye.
Time for Danye's time. He's got a sound barrier on top of it as well. He's cutting through Immortal and Nesh as he's jumping into Poland. Shadow's going to find that final kill for them. But Poland starting to get into the danger zone of taking this map away from Germany very early on.
They did just burn 4 ultimates to achieve that outcome, though not the most desirable situation given the circumstances. Now Germany are on even keel when it comes to ultimates, if not even slightly ahead, given that most of their members are over that 50% mark.
Nice EMP, locks everyone down, immediate response. Shadow diving straight onto Kodak, takes him out of the fight immediately. And they're just going to hold this position. Germany, no, they can't push forward in a 5v6 scenario, buying more time for Poland to hit that dangerous 90% threshold.
It wasn't just the 5v6 as well, it's the fact that they burnt the hack and Germany immediately got themselves out of there. Audi 5000, back to safety land. Now they can push back in with that visor. They're at 90% though, so expect many to deploy that ultimate any second now, but it's just been hacked by Matwo from the side.
Mete shuts down, he has got tactical visor, but he's unable to pull it off. Sound barrier coming out afterwards for Germany. Nesh and Zeno already trading kills. Here's Cranks with the Dragon Blade, can find one, not the second, and Matwo will shut him down, nearly giving away the point to Nesh, who was on the point solo. The rest of Germany looking for the cleanup. They've got ults at their disposal, but they want to hold on to them. They're not going to need to burn them as they get the flip at 30%.
They managed to get it. Matwo was kind of left reeling there a bit as well. He was trying to find an angle to get a hack down, but instead was left looking and trying to find the ideal target. But all he came across was an Ana, which can be a very dangerous target to take on by yourself if she's aware you're there. And he also had a Winston, who's got a huge health pool. So realistically, not the target the most ideal one to go for. So he's just going to lurk and wait now. Nowhere near that EMP just yet, but he's feeding his team valuable information.
If they can keep Meta safe, they can bride him with the nano boost to make a nano visor combo. Dexter's going to open things up with Cranks. He's popped the tactical visor with an average beast, who knocked off the map by Zeno. Ultimate value there, 2 for 1. It's not going to save the rest of the opponents. They will go for a reset as Immortal picking up the tag on the way down.
May have well got that tag out, but Immortal with a bit of a save towards the end there, making sure that point was still in their favor. Matwo still hasn't really made much happen in the last 2 minutes or so. He's been looking for the angle, but his team are just failing to find these engages again, Trid. It's all about initiative when you're playing with this triple DPS composition, and Germany have definitely fell into the stride we saw them find in the French series earlier on today.
Danye doing his best Prince of Persia impression, but he's going to jump in with that blade and the nano boost to boot. The rest of the supports have scattered. He's found Immortal. Not much he can do after he's blown his sound wave. I think neither can Danye after committing to someone so deep in the backline away from the team. Cranks and Progi have already found the backline of Poland, and the rest of Germany are very much in control as we're hitting 5% to victory. I don't think Poland are going to be able to take this one. Sanctum is surely going over to Team Germany.
Absolutely is, and really, Poland struggled to find their stride there, I feel. Germany, after that second fight where they lost it and gave the point away, they would realize themselves, and as we said, you know, this is a very initiation-based composition. You need to be the ones taking the initiative, going aggressive. And no doubt coming into this, Germany have said to themselves, well, realistically, we feel we're more together as a unit than maybe Poland are, and we can capitalize on that. It slipped for a moment, but outside of that, that was an entirely Germany round.
Very close to losing it, though. Poland getting into the 90%. Well, 99% in fact. It's very dangerous for Germany to be dropping maps like that when they're expected to be the higher seed team coming into this matchup and really want to provide some more confidence in their level of play. If they're struggling to take maps off of someone who's currently expected to be 5th or 6th in this tournament, really going to shake things up for what the expectations and the optics of this team.
Heading on to Shrine now, no real environmental kills available unless you're hanging out by the south side of the map, but in that case you're doing completely the wrong thing anyway. So going to be a GOATS rollout for both teams here to kick this one off.
It's going to be interesting to see if there's any variations coming out after the initial clash, forcing them back away. Germany has the positional advantage on the point. It's Poland who have to approach onto them. Progi and Logan helped back up again. Points starting to be captured by Team Germany. Poland have to go now. They don't want to get the first cap. They're going to do just that. It's Progi about to hit that Earth Shatter. Maybe one more swing or a Flame Strike. He's going to give it to him. 99%. He can push forward and seal the deal and make sure his team's going to win. Going to throw it straight into the back line of Poland. A nano boost on the Shadow to keep him alive. But it's not going to save the rest of his team. They're looking to push forward. That extra damage gave him Cranks. Graviton Surge for Nesh. They need to use it. But they're pushing back onto the point. They're starting to take numbers back. The Graviton Surge being put out. There's the self-destruct. Trying to block the shield. Progi with 2 kills onto Danye and Shadow. A D-Mech coming out from Mete, and the rest of Germany pulls it back from the brink and hit that 30% mark.
Even in that 5v5 situation, Germany's win condition still didn't change. They got their ultimates up incredibly quickly there. Both sides did, admittedly, to be honest, but Poland, they didn't really hit that critical mass they were looking for with things like the Graviton Surge and the self-destruct. Germany, meanwhile, had that online, and you saw the end result there. It didn't even need to be used in the end, though, because it was Progi netting that double kill to win the fight for his team.
Double support ultimate for Germany. Going to throw out that sleep dart. Did connect, I believe, and sent someone napping. Dexter taking a quick little nap on the stairs. Red throws Spider Grenade. Shadow being dropped. Don't know how effective that was. Don't think anyone got past Shadow's shield. It's already a couple of ults being used and committed. Graviton Surge being eaten. No ult seems to be being used in this fight whatsoever until the Sound Barrier and the Self-Destruct come out. No one found by it. The shield's going to be diminishing very quickly for Team Germany as they got a Graviton Surge ready for Nesh to put onto the back line. This time, it's managed to land successfully, pulling Poland together, but there's no damage. Even Mete gets de-meched from this as a Flame Strike from Progi will take out Danye, and Poland struggling to get a foothold, but they are getting kills. They might be able to flip this around, but I'm not sure if they've got enough in the tank to do so.
Shadow just isn't going down quickly enough. There's a bit of miscommunication or lack of coordination from Germany, really. They're getting the stun onto the shield, but they're not following up the damage to bring him down. There comes the Graviton Surge, this time catching out the majority of Germany.
This has surely got to be Poland's fight. That charge from Shadow taking out Immortal is going to deny so much mobility and healing, and the rest of the components are going to fall to the wayside. Poland get the flip at 99%.
Like I say, a few small mistakes made by Germany there, like the mistiming of the Brigitte stun with ultimates, or things like the stun coming through, but then no real follow-up damage being there to initiate onto Shadow. Poland played incredibly well around that center pillar as well, using the environment to give them additional cover. And yes, they got grabbed from the side, but there just wasn't enough follow-up damage from Germany once again. Got to put their ideas up again and show us why they're the team that took France all the way through to 5 maps earlier on.
Nano boost self-destruct for Germany on this retake. For Poland sitting pretty. They got a rally, they got the Earth Shadow, they got the bomb, and of course, that nano boost of their own. Let's see what Shadow does. Who's going to win out this war of the Reinhardts? He's going to throw it down straight away. Manages to catch out Progi, but not many more members of Team Germany as they push forward and push them further away. Nano boost the committal to the fight that Poland want to take. Sound barrier to stem the flow of their aggression, keeping them outside of that room. They've cornered for themselves. Pushing back onto the point, asleep on the Progi. He's got his own Earth Shatter to use against Shadow, but he's been pinned against the wall. The healing might be there. Self-destruct onto the back line. Poland the corner, trapped on search for Mete to get a triple kill. Germany are going to flip this point back.
Great hold to begin with, but as you saw towards the end, all it takes is one cheeky self-destruct to slip through, and suddenly the whole team is decimated. Germany back in control, 99% second now. There's no way they make this point back. Germany taking the first map 2-0.
Taking the series exactly how they need to. Managed to make a little bit more of a dominant showing than they did on Sanctum, which is always good, showing some kind of progress. On the map type, Radio Boy going to go have a quick chat with his team as we get ready for that second map. It's looking good for Team Germany. Definitely different from what we saw yesterday.
It is. A couple of mistakes still eking back in there that we saw at the start of their series against France. Let's not forget in the first half, Germany were down 2-0 and then pulled it back with maps 3 and 4. Luckily here, walking away 2-0 on that first map, I think it's more a case of Poland here not really having the coordination, again, that togetherness that you're hoping to see from teams here at the World Cup. Maybe a few little tweaks of both sides to iron out when it comes into half-time.
Well, great ultimate usage by both teams as well. I think that we saw barely any whiffed Earth Shatters, especially from Progi and, of course, Shadow, who we've had some question marks about previously. But he's been able to pull out a relatively good performance today. Hopefully he can maintain it despite being one map down against the German side.
Yeah, Shadow yesterday, a few whiffed ults, a few nano boosts when a miss, you might say, as he managed to miss a few leaps on Winston, for example. But today, things are looking better, at least from what we've seen at the start of that map there, where he is standing up against Progi, who, from what the games we've seen today, yes, we've only seen 3, but I'd say he's looking like one of the stronger main tanks playing on the field today.
Absolutely, you can't take anything away from him, but he just needs to make sure he can get a win under his belt, because it doesn't matter how good you look. If your team wins no matches at the World Cup, it's not going to look great for you. Let's have a look at that second map to get this series on the road again. We're going over to Numbani, which we're seeing a lot of here at Europe in comparison to the other group stages.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are thinking, well, we're seeing a lot of goats. Let's try and play them out where we're not going to see so much goats. And in the series earlier on today between Germany and France, there was a lot of Genji and Sombra play coming out alongside the dive tanks, showing that teams are more than happy to not play goats. And in fact, for some of them, might come as a bit of a breath of fresh air. If
you're tuning in for the first time, you don't know what goats is, that's the triple support, triple tank combination. We call it GOATS. It's named after a team that kind of pushed it into the mainstream, shall we say, over in NA Trials, NA Open Division. One of the NA leagues.
I think it was Open Division. They played through and just rolled everyone with it, yeah.
Yeah, I think, well, to be honest, NA is like European Open Division anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
We love a bit of NA versus EU flame.
Yeah, it's very easy to do as well when they just give us so much ammunition. Moving on to the map itself, Poland versus Germany. Like we said, we're expecting to see teams to vary from what we're seeing from the triple support, triple tank composition. Maybe a few more damage dealers as we saw earlier. Poland on the defense first. And I want to see Matwo stay on this Torbjorn.
Well, we saw a few times in EU contenders, teams will roll out with just a single Mercy as the support on the first point, because you're relying a lot on the utility of that Torbjorn. Just making a thorn in that side with this turret almost means that it's very difficult to get on top of the Mercy. Mercy plays on the high ground of the bridge to your left. As soon as someone tries to engage onto her, she drops back down into the alleyway. She's relatively safe, so it requires quite a lot of coordination from the other side to make the dives work and to bring down the only support. I say that, there's actually 2 supports on the board. I completely ignored due to playing on the deck. So this is actually a variation of what we've seen in European contenders. Quite interested to see how this one works out. The single DPS, they may lack some damage. My only issue is that turret goes down, they'll be in a bit of hot water, but they do have the shield coming out of the Winston, they do have the D.Va to keep it alive. Hopefully does enough to keep Germany under keel.
Nesh and Crank's going on to the diving DPS of Sombra and Genji again, so hopefully they have the vertical mobility to get onto that turret and also get onto that safe position already. Meta's up there with them. Leaving the supports on the backline. Progi's buying his time before he commits with his leap. He does obviously have a longer cooldown to deal with it, so you need to pick a target very carefully with this one.
Progi just taking his time here as well. Don't want to commit to anything and find yourself in a bit of hot water. Mercy being sitting out nowhere by Kodak.
They're sleeping on the job. It opens up a window for Immortal, Mete and Progi to get on that high ground and send them packing. They have control of the point and positional advantage. Poland not looking like a good start for them.
Nah, Danye being down as well super early on means that you lose a lot of that pressure, and instantly he switches over to the McCree. Don't expect Matwo to stay here on top of this Torbjorn, probably going to change over himself to something else to facilitate Danye, in this case, the Brigitte.
Swedish Gambit didn't pay off. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see any more of that. And maybe it explains a lot why we don't see Torbjorn play that often.
Keep an eye on Nesho as well. He's trying to find a hack. In fact, he's going to hack Dexter out here at the back, who completely ignored him and continued firing forwards there. He's just not bothered about being hacked out right now because he knows that the whole team around him, Nesh can't do anything without that EMP.
Frank's going very low, will be healed up 90% until he gets that Dragon Blade. Kodak not too far off his nano boost. Could be a big wipe potential here for Germany until Danye actually shuts down Pierogi, causing a little bit of hesitation from the German side.
Just a little bit of hesitation, but they know they've got time. There's 5 minutes in this time bank to work with to get towards this second point. They don't need to just rush in here and try and close this one out super quick. They feel comfortable just taking their time, finding the picks they need, or in this case, the hacks they need them to shatter.
Immediately pulls out the Deadeye, want to get in the face, holding up the deflect. Danye knows he can't do it. He times it perfectly to get Cranks and Pierogi throughout it all. And they're going to push Germany back yet again in the second phase of this map.
This is exactly why you don't want to rush things forward, because they went with the rush and got punished immediately by basically charging as a Genji into the face of a McCree without the deflect online. You're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, just gonna have a quick pause. I imagine it might be for a technical issue, but what timing by Danye. I thought when Cranks was there with the Nano Blade ready in front of him, holding the deflect, starts wishing it around a little bit, we're gonna see a reverse kill onto Danye, but he had that patience, he had that calm, controlled manner. Just wait through it, get the shot off, find himself 2 kills.
Obviously felt in that situation that even if he did come out of the deflect, he'd still be able to hold on to it and get that kill. Like you say, matter of patience, probably a matter of experience as well. I imagine this is something where he's had a lot of Genjis flying towards him when he's playing something like the McCree when he's played in previous years.
So if we just take stock where we are on the map, obviously Germany have just captured point A, just around the first corner of the second phase of the map, so still a bit of a distance to go. We typically see a lot of momentum plays happen in that second phase of Numbani. That's being completely killed by Poland. It's going to take a couple of fights for Germany to get back into it, or we could see the end of their road on Numbani so far for Team Germany.
You could see the winning play there was going for the Genji ult to try and get on top of them in the backline and just clear out some of the supports, but the Valkyrie got popped immediately up into the skybox away from the Genji. The Zen backed off far back past the second point, so trying to go there without a dash would have been suicide anyway. That left Danye as the only target to go on. So a bit of good coordination and communication coming out of Poland there, because they were expecting this to come out of Germany and thought, when that blade comes online, here's what everyone's got to do. We hold the front line, we push back as and how we need to. I think the added bonus of pricking up Pierogi with the Deadeye was more than enough for them, and they were like, great, 2 for 1. We'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, and I think point A was actually opened up a lot by that sleep onto Immortal. We did clock it coming in from Kodak. Don't know how he threaded the needle that well to get the kill or sleep onto the Mercy, but it opened up that window for the rest of Team Germany to commit to it. And there was not really a defense on point A. And you can laugh and go, ha, Torb, memes, you know. But
it's worked historically.
It's worked. We've seen it work in contenders in Europe, and now everyone's going to go, oh yeah, contenders Europe though. They managed to make it work in Europe.
I love how Matt Ward just turned around and just saw her sleeping and was like, have an armor pack. It's almost like press F a few keys away, have it turn back around and keep on fighting this way again.
It's like flowers for a funeral.
Exactly.
Throw it on the casket and then just go, oh, well, I was sad, but I'll get on with my life.
He's like, I don't need you. I got the Zen right here, keeping me alive anyway. But you saw the dive come through from Germany. It was very, very coordinated. The fact they caught out the Tracer first just shows how committed they were to making sure key members went down. The turret fell straight after. The Zen died about a second later. So they actually pretty much ignored the Mercy, thinking, well, 50 health per second. We're not really bothered by that. We'll worry more about getting these key members who can really stop us from doing what we want to do here and just clear out the first point.
The Mercy mains are outraged that you're disregarding the importance of the HP per second. Yes, Mercy got nerfed to 50 HPS, but simultaneously, if you buff Ana, you're going to expect a kind of change of priority coming into the healers. And
it was a good sleep from Kodak as well, because he was playing down in the streets and just sniping upwards around the corner. And you saw consistently the return fire coming his way, but he was like, I don't care, sleep, boom, back behind cover again, and he was safe. Yeah, Mercy was asleep, lack appealing, dive, win.
We've also seen that from Dooku as well. Look at the sleep. He shut down a Nano Blade very easily on Sanctum. And Dooku's been playing really well this series, actually. We obviously pay a lot of attention on the Polish team to Danye. He is their star player. He is the one who pops off. Cranks had some good moments earlier today as well. But then, of course, we wanted... No, Cranks is on Germany. What am I talking about? Yeah.
Wrong team, mate.
Messed up there.
Nice
Cranks is really good anyway.
It's not like it's on another screen for you to see who's on the team anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to look at that screen, do I? I'm just saying. Dooku, very good. We often give Danye a lot of praise, but there are members on his team who are showing up really well today here as well.
I think we're seeing quite a few actually really step up for Poland as well. And we came into it and said, well, Danye's the only signed player who's the guy you want to watch out for. The others are all free agents. A few of them have stepped up, and we spoke about Red a few times, and you got to feel sorry for the guy. You're playing second fiddle to Danye, who's, again, one of the most prolific players we're probably going to see in the group stage. We do have a quick replay, though, of that 2K coming out of the Deadeye, just in case you missed it. Not that it was hard to.
It's from his POV, so look at this. He's just holding it on. He's going, I'm fine. Bang. Times it perfectly as the deflect ends, and really shuts down the momentum of Germany's push.
It's all you need. Shutting down that one key member in the Genji you said earlier on would have been enough, but getting the Winston as well just takes a lot of pressure out of the front line, and where potentially there was a bit of contestation coming in between the two tank sets, but nope, with the Winston gone, you lose the shield, you lose his engage potential, end of fight.
Danya's on 2 for 2 kills for Progi on Nimbani. Shut him down after they cap point A, and then they also go for the Deadeye kill afterwards, gets him as a nice little bonus. We're going to jump back into the game, though, so less of our incoherent ramblings and more of our slightly more coherent ramblings as we go into game.
I hope they were slightly coherent, but we'll go with it.
Well, yours may have been coherent.
Maybe not so.
Yours may have been coherent, not mine.
I thought it was playing towards me then, but that was a
No, I'm going to be very self-meditative today. I'm going to be looking inwards.
reflecting trid mode.
There isn't a reflecting trid.
We can make one.
Someone could. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know where it would go, though. I don't have a Twitch stream. So.
We'll put it somewhere. Speaking of putting something somewhere, that payload's got to be put towards the second point. Oh, quick pause once again.
Speaking of putting something somewhere, someone put the pause button on again. So, here we are.
Someone put the pause button on. It happens. The key thing with this next fight, though, I just noticed a second ago, is that Nesh has now got that EMP online. And I've noticed so far that Poland have been pretty much exclusively ignoring him. Even when he hacks a member, they just turn and go, okay, there's a Sombra there, let's carry on looking that way and keep on killing people. Now he's got the EMP, they'll know this is around about the time this is online. If they've been tracking these ults correctly, they've got to make sure they're set up in anticipation from that, because if he drops that on the back line, or even on the front line, they're going to melt incredibly quickly.
Well, Dooku's got the Transcendence, so if he can get that out, then he'll be fine, be able to heal the team through whatever. Their lack of mobility, lack of defensive abilities are going to be compensated just by the raw healing of the Transcendence. So
absolutely.
He should be fine if he can avoid it, and I think what you said there is absolutely correct. As long as they've identified that Nesh has that EMP available for them, they should be able to work around it. But of course, Sombra, perma-stealth, you might not always be able to predict where she's coming from.
In a dream scenario with that EMP, you're catching out multiple members, but generally you're always going to go for the backline. We've seen it a lot over the last 2 days, where I actually saw Progi yesterday after the games, and I said, I feel really sorry for you, actually, because watching back Volskaya yesterday, 2 or 3 times you went to dive onto the enemy Zen as the EMP came out, but he was dead before you even landed, because once you get that EMP come through, those 150 shields disappear, there's 50 HP on Zen. It only takes a few shots coming out of the Sombra, and he's pretty much gone. So whether it's the Ana or the Zen, as long as you get down one of those key supports, you're in dreamland, because with all that support cut out, what more can you do? No Discord Orb available for the enemy tanks, no extensive healing or anti-nade, or even the nade for your own team from the Ana, you're in a lot of trouble.
So what has Danya been doing this game beyond going on to...
Not a lot.
Not a lot. I mean, yeah, we talked about the flashy plays. He's been able to get himself together. There's the crowd in France. Obviously, it's not their French team, but they're going to get themselves a little bit excited anyway. They still want to see some Overwatch. We don't get a lot of live experience Overwatch here in Europe. We get a lot of competition through tournaments on online and contenders, but it's great to see them in attendance.
You can't really see behind all the camera and the extra kind of layer almost, but there's a whole set of seats behind that, and then again behind that once more. It's just a beautiful photo in front of you who are lit up so you can see what's going on. Well, speaking of Danye, first point, played Tracer. Died pretty much straight away and they got wiped. Second point, built up that Deadeye incredibly quickly, considering he'd only just swapped over to it, so he's getting a lot of chip damage down, brought it out, and we saw in the replay just a second ago how impactful that double kill was.
Who else have we got to talk about on this roster then? Matt,
so many.
He's gone on to the Brigitte. He had a little bit of Sombra play in the previous round. Pretty good. Good timing with his EMPs. Nice follow-up from Poland as well to capitalize on Team Germany. Now he's going on to a more supportive role in the form of Brigitte. I believe that actually Poland are running a 3-2-1 composition, triple support, double tank, and the solo DPS. Danye, Brig, you can laugh about it all you want, does deal a lot of damage as well, so you can kind of go, it's fine, still kind of balanced, but not really.
For sure. And thinking about it, we spoke to a lot of the teams on the day before the World Cup stage began, and they were saying, some were saying 3-2-1's great, like we like running it. Some were saying, interestingly, one of the stronger teams was saying that 3-2-1 actually, we don't feel really comfortable playing it. We haven't quite figured it out yet, so it's not something we're going to tend to gravitate towards. For Poland, though, they're quite comfortable bringing it out here and showing what they can do with it. And you can understand why when you've got the utility coming out of something like the McCree, the zone that he can create with the ultimate, or even the stun alongside the Brigitte. That's a lot of CC you can drop on anyone trying to get into your backline. So it serves the same role almost a 3-3 in terms of keeping your backline safe with a very meaty front line. Just 3-3 has a lot of health to kind of protect the front line. The other one has the flashbang with the McCree, and of course the ultimate for the zoning where required. Speaking
of zoning ultimates, Mete is also about to get that self-destruct available for him, and Progi, of course, is about to hit Primal Rage. So both tank ultimates are going to be on the line for Team Germany in the next engagement relatively quickly. That could open up a lot of options for Team Germany, especially for Nesh to weave in behind teammates that have just been displaced by A, self-destruct, and B, a bunch of monkey fists flying at them.
Monkey fist, painful monkey fist
yes,
as well.
Very painful.
And this is one thing that me and you observed yesterday in their game when we saw them play, is that Progi is a very aggressive, offensive style tank player. He likes to get in the back line, he likes to put damage down and actually kill people rather than just creating space. as we alluded to, by killing people, you are technically creating space. Yep. But then we saw Korn playing on the other side of things, and he was more around, on the Netherlands this is, he was more around genuinely creating space by jumping in, bubbling things out, taking unfavorable fights in like a 1 versus 3 or a 1 versus 4. Progi ain't about that life. He wants to kill people and make sure they know that his name was there in the first place. So expect to see him go aggressive with this ultimate and try and bring down a few key members. We've just been indicated, by the way, we'll be back into game in 2 seconds, so more incoherent ramblings. They will stop soon, and we'll be back to full coherency in-game.
2, 1. We're back in the game.
Hey, we're in. And the crowd cheers, we cheer, everyone cheers.
We're cheering on the inside.
On the inside, yeah.
And anyone who's casted before is also cheering on the inside as well. They know how it feels when pauses are interrupting everything, but it's fine. We'd rather everything get sorted, we can move in. Nesh looking for that EMP, and Germany have cleared a lot of space open here to just walk it in.
This is really smart. They're playing with all their supports on the high ground here, away from the Sombra, because if they get the EMP on top, well, they've all got to filter in through one angle. You can body block with these mobile tanks. You can jump up from this low ground onto the high ground to keep them safe. Just going to go with a normal hack for now. Nesh being very, very patient with this EMP.
Tanks are going a little bit low, but they are getting support from their backline, like you said, Des, so they're not giving up too much ground. And they're able to stall the payload from its motion. Danya again with that high noon. Jono is going to move him around. He's getting Progi as he's bumped everyone out of the cover. As Dexter's going to hold on to that self-destruct. Pulse bomb thrown out to the side. Believe it was eaten by Dexter, so no bomb for Cranks to get any kills on. Beautiful play by Poland.
All coming from Shadow as well. Again, one of those guys who's been a bit 50-50 over the last couple of days. Once Danya deployed that ult down, he's already 55% back towards his ult, by the way. He brought it out immediately. Oh, no.
Madwo saved it with the EMP, came in just a second too late. Madwo with the Brigitte, keeping his sleeping teammate alive. And Danya flips it back around with a kill onto Nesh, punishing him for his transgressions. And he finds Kodak to give a little bit of flavor to the finale.
It's Reinhardt who usually says stand behind me, but could you ask for a better squad than the Brigitte in that situation? Matwo doing a great job being followed up by the trans immediately after as well to make sure there was no follow-up damage. Poland are holding this high ground incredibly well, and this is the problem I think for Germany is they've said, look, they're playing high. We can't contest with the Sombra. Let's change over to the Soldier instead and use the range to our advantage.
Yeah, Soldier's not working out too hot. Dooku pops him after Danya gets that headshot there. Heinen again, they're all retreating behind cover. It's a zoning ultimate, ladies and gentlemen.
He's waiting for the damage, come on.
There you go, they know, they've run out of time. He's just gonna let him go. Didn't even pull the trigger, it's fine. Gonna retreat back to their high ground position. Poland has such confidence in him. This was their map pick after all.
It was, and again, that high ground is playing so well. Germany looking a bit lost right now. They've got the dive potential of the tanks, but aside from that, no real DPS to win. They're still playing sort of DPS, but here comes the nano boost.
Progi jumping into the middle, gonna pop the primal rage with the nano boost still active. Danya's gonna get taken down. The extra damage made that fist hurt even harder. Brass knuckles on this ace as he swings him around. Martwo looking to go low, but they're going to be forced back. So they're going to get stunned up. Pierogi being forced back. Zeno going to bring Danya back into the fight. Keep him on that high ground again. Here's Pierogi once more being locked up, and he's got a sound barrier. As does the rest of the team to keep him alive. Mete comes in for the assist, tag teaming him, taking him out of the fight with no resurrection available for Mercy. Self-destruct on the point is a nice respite for Poland on their defense. Tactical visor, target-rich environment for Team Germany.
Nesh trying to roll it through on the back of this one. Brings down one, brings down two. He's making it work for his team. Finally, they have broken down Poland. They have managed to get through this defense, and they will push it towards the second.
They're going to get themselves 2 minutes 30, just shy of it on the clock for the final push. They've got a minute in the time back roughly, as they're going to hit that check mark. Poland, not got many ultimates available for them, but they're mixing it up now. Shadow going onto the Reinhardt. They're going goats for the final point, Des.
When you haven't got that high ground to play around, it's understandable, but you want to try and mix things up. And it's also going to force Germany to adapt, so they have to abandon 80% on Kodak's Ana there. They want to make sure they've got the Zen in the comp. And this is the beauty of goats. People will always mean and say it's not really a beautiful thing to play. But you can play with the Ana, the Moira, or the Zen. You can mix a couple of picks around there as well to change the tank front line. You're playing with the Zen here because you want to melt down those Reinhardts in the front line with the Discord orcs.
It's like a skill tree in an RPG. You're choosing which skill to spec into by picking one of the 3 supports. Nesh moving forward, getting that high charge. 77 is going to decrease a little bit as they're pushing forward. There's no brakes on the German train as they're pushing forward into Poland's controlled area. Shadow eventually going to take down Progi with that hammer swing. Cranks answering the call by returning onto Shadow. Self-destruct over the top. The rest of Poland's going to retreat into the hallway, but it leaves the payload in motion for Team Germany.
Poland managed to get a bit of storm to go now. Germany going for the re-engage. Cranks in the front, managed to bring down Matwa with a fantastic flail off the back of that one. Whoever called Brigitte a support, she's definitely more of a DPS for this team.
That rocket flare was almost laser guided onto the skull of the Zarya going to be using that Graviton Surge. Transcendence to keep them together. Shadow being charged in by Progi. He's going to come back onto the payload. Mete with the Diva, taking out Shadow and Danye. Germany seem very much in control, but that self-destruct only finding one from Dexter. Gets the D-Mech onto Mete. So 2 out of 3 tanks been removed from Germany, and the respawn advantage might be good enough. Shatter from Progi, going to knock down Dexter. No one else is in range for it, because they've got no tanks on the field until Shadow gets in the face. There's too many members from Germany to deal with. They're going to complete Numbani.
Crank's doing so much work on the Brigitte in that final fight as well. We've seen Brigitte's being nano boosted today because we know just how potent it can be, but he did it even without a nano boost in that final fight, picking up key members towards the end as well, getting those big stuns down. Sadly, not quite the same story for Poland though, because as we saw with that final self-destruct coming through, which could have saved the round for them, there was no stun to turn away from that Ryan shield, which meant ultimately most of the members were safe. They stood around for long enough and they managed to turn the fight back in their favor.
Now it's time for Germany to defend. 40 seconds in their time bank, and it needs to go around to an offense. So they're not hit that 1 minute check mark they need to just capture 33% at point A, assuming a overtime capture by Poland. So we will have another round of Numbani if Poland can capture by any means.
By any means, probably the key word there. They've got to really scrap and fight tooth and nail to get this one all the way. Germany, as we've already said a few times, have definitely come up a different team today. They had a good night's sleep last night after a lot of VOD reviews and preparation. They were ready for this. They were ready for France. Just sadly couldn't quite clinch out in the very, very final map. But at least after that performance, they'll be somewhat inspired and thinking, you know what, Poland, realistically with how their results have gone compared to how France's have gone, this should be a series that we can take away, even if we can't qualify for BlizzCon.
Looking a little bit more meta for Team Germany. Going on that defensive dive, so they have Nesh and Genji. While they're holding that defensive ground, a lot of vertical mobility, just mobility in general. The arena that you need to be able to scale to match the response from your defenders.
It's a tough situation for Poland as well, thinking about it, because likelihood is, even if they win this map, they're going to Anubis next. Yep. And we know Germany does not lose when it comes to Temple of Anubis. It's their home map. They seem the most comfortable on it of them all. But first, they've got to get through this defense. And as you mentioned rightly, yes?
You meant Volskaya Industries.
Volskaya. No, it's Anubis as well.
Volskaya, Germany is Volskaya's map.
I could have sworn it was Anubis, but we'll go with it.
Argue semantics. The stream knows I'm right. I know I'm right. We'll sort it out later to make you understand. Let's move on to this offense, though. You see already Nesh is behind, scouting out. As expected, Matwo having an attempt of his own on the Sombra. So going to move deep behind the enemy line. Make sure he can find anything. Stragglers. Going to see Shadow going in. Hack onto Immortal. He's got the mobility. Can't jump to safety. Perfect pick-off for Matwo. The aggression from Progi, sorry, the aggression from Shadow, forcing this out as Dani gets a cut through. And Matwo going to find another kill onto Kodak. Very clever strategy from Poland there, perfectly timed execution to boot.
This is the problem where this strategy of holding the high ground and falling back into alleyway when you're threatening can kind of be torn apart. You send a tank on top, push them back into alleyway. You've got to remember that a Sombra is a thing in this meta. She will be lurking and waiting, as you saw Dooku just missing the sleep dart onto Nesh. But Poland seems to have put it back. They've got the payload moving.
Yeah. A Sombra by herself against 6 members isn't going to do much on that point, so it doesn't really matter they missed the sleep dart, but look at the aggression from Poland. They want to walk the payload in with little resistance. Shadow, very lucky to have that bubble shield to save his life. He's getting focused quite a bit as Germany come back out on the counter-attack.
Want to run away before they get picked up, but Kodak finds Yana. This actually could be Germany finding a fight back here. They even get the D-Mech in too.
So Matwo, he's snuck in there. He's behind Team Germany again. He needs to find a way to be useful. He's got an EMP available. He's going to pop that translocator down, hide it, make sure they can't find it, move into the back, pop that EMP, and allow Poland to press forward again.
Managing to hold them all the way back at the gate. It's a matter of just recomposing here and waiting until you've got 6, which they've now got, and then go for the push. But the EMP from Matwo is big.
Pulling the trigger. Shadow's immediately there to back him up. Cranks is going to go down first. Follows up with a hack onto Mete. A hack Diva is basically a walking bag of ult charge. Matwo going on to Progi, still letting Mete slip through the cracks. But with that many people dead for Germany, the payload's going to have a nice little bit of a free fair taxi run.
And they found Mete all on his own here. Why he hung around for so long, I'm not sure. They're going to chase him down and try and bring him down. That many health back. Just enough to deter the invaders here, push them all the way back.
A lot of ult charge available, as you can see across both teams. So, with a buffet at the disposal, what do they pick from the menu? What do they put on their plates and hopefully chow down on victory with? Nesh on the back line, he's going to go for a hack. Sound barrier, nano boost, and the Dragon Blade to the back line to cut through Immortal and get himself another kill onto Kodak. But Immortal manages to escape. He got hacked once, he didn't want to have it again. Darnie's going to deflect a few bullets, but they're back in the spawn room. That's an easy second point capture for Team Poland.
Poland are on the roll here as well, pushing their way through this map with some speed. 5.5 minutes left to complete. 5 minutes, maybe 4.5 if they want to match Germany's time bank here as well to give themselves an equal footing when it comes to next time round. Germany had the right idea there, that they held on for a while, didn't use the ultimates they've currently got banked up. They can use these to roll over a couple of fights if they want to, but given how Poland have been playing so far, that's not an easy feat.
Next in the back line with an EMP. Here's the sound. Oh, the self-destruct comes out. Beautiful combination from Team Germany. Could have killed momentum from Poland, but doesn't net them much with a 5-minute time bank still to play for.
It's the beauty in this meta in that you can use Zarya or Sombra in this situation where you either have the EMP to shut down all shields to stop members having much mobility to run away, or you get the Graviton Surge to force them all together and you charge the Rhine out of the way. That's what gives a lot of flexibility when it comes to comps like this, is they can play a 3-2-1 with Sombra if they want to. That just gives even more opportunities for the D.Va self-destruct to go to work though.
I think I prefer an EMP to a Graviton Surge at this point. A lot of options to defend yourself against it, but here comes an EMP for Poland. Followed up with a charge, Shadow moving in, Nato going very low, 40 HP. Self-destruct around the corner will find Kodak, who was trying to get away from all the gunfire. Sound barrier is available for Germany. They've already popped it. Going to keep himself sustained. Poland presses forward.
And good time again, 4 minutes left in the time bank now to get themselves through this next fight. One fight may be enough to determine this one. Of course, a lot of spawn advantage coming in for Germany, given that this payload is so close to their spawn area. They're going to mix things up themselves here and roll out with 3-3 with the Ana in the mix. The other side for Poland is exactly the same story, but they're keeping hold of the Sombra.
Home stretch for Team Poland, 3 minutes 50 on the clock. Nano boost available. The Dooku to put onto one of his team members, but definitely wants some kind of ultimate or something else to combo it with to get full value out of it rather than being used as a save.
Dooku's got hold of that nano boost. Kodak still charging towards his, only stand at 50%. That could be their big win condition here if they can make it work. There comes the nano.
Going to use it on the Shadow, immediately slept out by Kodak, so they're just going to let him take a nap.
Graviton
Not
Surge.
going to disrupt it. Graviton Surge putting together huge biotic grenade to boost their healing, but Dexter will still find Nesh in the carnage. He's going to drop down a self-destruct. Everyone retreating behind Shadow's shields. They move to the side. Nice pin cancelled out with a stun. It's not going to be enough to connect and get the kill. Poland are moving back onto the payload. There's an Earth Shatter in the favor of Shadow as he pushes Mete away from the point. Home stretch, so close. Take out that Zarya, get rid of Immortal, and you can push it home. Team Poland, a sizable time bank moving into their next offense.
Really warming up into this one, even with a bit of a lackluster final fight, because as soon as you saw that Ryan get slept, they popped the grab in the expectation that he'd be there to swing away. Sadly, didn't quite come to fruition, and they still managed to get through all that healing coming out of the Ana on the other side. Smiles on the face of Dooku. He knows they've done some good work here.
It looked like he was doing a bit of the hacker then, like New Zealand, he's tapping his elbow, trying to get into the...
Get himself pumped up.
Get himself pumped, ready to take down Team Germany. And look at the time bank difference there. It's 2 minutes 15 in favor of Team Poland. That, of course, means they're going to be going on defense first against Team Germany.
It's a very convincing performance from them on the second map, and we were speaking in the first round and saying, hey, maybe Germany is starting to warm up here a little bit, and that's why we've seen a few nerves kind of being shaken off as they were getting used to the stage once again. But actually, it's come up much stronger for Poland as we go into Numbani. These are the guys who are looking far more convincing with their play. Germany, buck your ideas up a little bit, come up with something new here to try and disrupt what Poland are now comfortable with. And in fact, speaking of Poland, they're even rolling out here pretty much immediately with the McCree on board, not going to try and employ the same thing as last time.
I mean, it did get rolled over very quickly, Des. I'd be very surprised if they decided to run
No
back to
Torp,
Warfield again.
no Torp, no Tracer.
Good. Keep it that way.
And Brick.
Hopefully, they can stall out for the 1 minute required. They may not be able to fully hold it against Germany, but if they can at least force them to an overtime push the rest of the payload, it does look very advantageous on their own offense.
Germany is going to crack their knuckles here and be like, oh boys, speaking about overtime pushes, we've already had a huge one on Route 66 today. We were born and bred in those fires, so I hope you're ready.
We're molded in the overtime as Nesh is going to move around to the back line. Take that high ground position, very sneaky.
Ready for the dive.
Looking for someone, hacks out Dexter, no defense there. Darnier will take out Cranks as he dives in. So already Germany put on the back foot as Darnier's sitting in a bubble up in the sky, and he's able to pop down those shots and make those supports die. Mete, Kodak, they're looking to be shot up, but they get out of the target gallery fast enough. 20 seconds remaining for Team Germany.
No Snagger being found. Nice little sleep onto Dexter at the very end. This one means they might actually be able to capitalize on some damage, but nope, he's up and away straight away. You even saw the hack come in immediately from Nesh onto the Diva to try and block the defense matrix. Ultimately, it didn't matter because they still found those opening kills. Poland still having the high ground here. This is where they were strong in their second round last time round. Let's see if they can make it work now. Huge Deadeye coming out.
Not going to fall for it twice, tries to cut through, wasn't fast enough to get that trigger pulled at the right time. Shadow finding Progi, takes down the Winston just in time. And the Immortal's going to be popped off in the back line. Mete shutting down Shadow, nice flashbang into the one tap onto Nesh. There's a nano boosted Diva in your face. What are you going to do, Danye? Pop him as he comes out of his shell. That's another kill for the Madman, and the self-destruct is just fireworks to celebrate. Team Poland ends Germany's offense on Numbani.
And now, with 3 minutes in the time bank, all they've got to do is crack that first point, and they've already done that very convincingly in under a minute last time round. Just got to roll out what they're comfortable with. Think about what Germany will be trying to do to adapt to this one, and we've seen a lot already what they like rolling out with. It's all about that Genji and the Sombra. If they go for that again, I think Poland are going to have a read on them, and they'll know exactly what they need to do.
They knew exactly what they needed to do last time, Des. They had one play, one set strategy that Poland needed to execute on point A, and they did it perfectly first attempt. Has there been enough time for Germany to figure out how they don't allow that to happen again? Because if Poland go at it, the same strategy, and just wipe them, then it shows you that answer very clearly.
That's my biggest concern here, is that Germany have to think on their feet a bit and start to adapt. And this is always where you separate the good from the great in some ways. The teams will have to adapt on the fly and use their brains in-game. There's no coach that can help you when the series is underway. It's all about your in-game leader making the big calls. And by the looks of it, the call for now is hold this high ground once again. Nesh, back on that Sombra, going to looking to hack out a key member as they try and get in the back line. My eyes are going to be on Matwo in this first push here, because as we saw from Nesh last time, he got into the alleyway behind it, and as members fell down, especially the Mercy, he was there to receive her, bring her down, and melt down the Ana not too long after, and that was the end of the attack.
Matwo himself, he went down with the back line, was able to hack out that Mercy. She dropped down and kill him with the assistance of his Danye on that Genji. Already, we've just seen another sleeping Dexter. He's been knocked out by Kodak. He'll be back soon. They're just trying to spy check Matwo. He knows. He's just going to wait for the right time, and he sneaks through. They were probably hoping they would catch him, but they were assuming he went a different route. He's going to go behind, wait for the aggression. Now watch for the play. You're going to see Progi.
Feed me.
Shadow going up there, straight Immortal. It's the exact same play, but he's being healed up by Kodak this time as he also jumped, but it wasn't enough because you got 3 members dealing with you, and now they're just being fed to the walls. Team Poland pulled off their strategy yet again. Germany, they have not learnt a thing.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. But there is no shame for the Polish side here, showing Germany that they're here to dance, here to boogie, and they're going to pretty much capture this first point here and get themselves a map against Team Germany.
Against all expectations, Des, we have a series. Team Poland and Germany tied as we go into the half.
And it just goes to show that even when you can count a team down in that 5th and 6th level tier, potentially, they can surprise teams with plays like this. And that was a beautifully executed map. It was their map pick. Maybe they had some fixed strats here and were aware of what Germany were going to roll with. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. A victory is a victory. They go into the half 1-1.
But what's next, Des? We can only guess they're going to go to Volskaya because it's Germany's pick. They've had great success on it so far today, even against France, able to take it to them, and the UK. It was a map they took off 2 of the juggernauts of this group. If Poland can break the supposedly unbreakable Volskaya Germany, well, we could see ourselves with a little bit of an upset here.
I think even knowing that they're out of BlizzCon, they want to hold them to some pride here as well. Go home saying we refuse to lose Volskaya, and they've played it very convincingly so far. And in fact, when I was speaking to Progi again about his tank play, that was the one map that I referenced quite a lot and saying you were very aggressive on that map. Sometimes a bit too over-aggressive, but you still got results for your team, and that was the most important thing. So they'll be looking for the same thing after the half. No doubt going to be a bit of a pep talk for Germany as well from Coach Radio Boy to make sure they're in the situation where they can take it to Poland and take this map and go to 2-1 in the series.
Well, we're going to find out the answer to those questions. This is turning out to be a barn burner of a series. We're going to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you map number 3.